This week on the Grind Waterfowl TV, we look back at the 2015 and 2016 waterfowl season.
It's a lifestyle for the rough and rugged kind. The tougher the game, the longer the pain, the better the ride. We do what we can to stay ahead, cause the modern world wants us left for dead. You better believe as long as we breathe, the sun's gonna rise. We dig real deep, try a little harder, buckle down tight, go a little farther so we can look back and be proud of what we've done. Sometimes we gotta work under the gun, don't sweat the battle, make sure the war's won. Keep on keeping on, cause the bottom line, it's a labor of love we call the grind.
The Grind is brought to you by Canadian Waterfowl Supplies, decoys and gear for marsh and field, Lucky Duck, premium decoys, Masters of Deception, Dakota Decoy, premium gunning decoys for demanding hunters, Wild Ear, custom fit hearing, enhancement, and protection, Rio, the official ammunition of the Grind Waterfowl TV, Pro Drive, shallow water outboards, authentic Wyoming high mountain seasonings, Sitka, specialized outdoor wear and equipment, Delta Waterfowl, the Duck Hunters Organization, and these fine sponsors.
This past waterfowl season was a season of trials and tribulations. The staff from The Grind explored several new areas and revisited others. Unseasonably warm weather and fall flooding altered hunts that had been planned for several weeks. This past season demanded flexibility and mobility to stay on the pulse of the migration. Each fall, the Grind Waterfowl TV typically begins the season with early resident Canada goose seasons, with trips to the Canadian Prairie and North Dakota as seasons open. This past season, the Grind spent time in central North Dakota hunting the prairie pothole country with Leeds, North Dakota guide Rick Darling from North Country Guide Service.
Every year we start a tradition where we come to the Leeds area. It's just kind of our first stopping ground for the start of the Grind. It's an awesome area. Delta Waterfowl has nesting grounds not too far north of us here, actually. I think within 20 to 30 miles is where it really starts. What they explained to me at Delta was this is the first corn that the ducks and geese see as they come on their southern migration.
First official Drake mallard of the year for the Grind crew.
The corn line starts about 20 miles north of here, so it's the first taste of corn these birds get, so they tend to stall out here, beef up a little bit before they head south.
One thing that's really important to us is for us to be able to share the hunt with individuals that we truly respect and appreciate, and Rick is one of the top individuals that we hunt with. Just a great guy, really respects hunting, the tradition of hunting, and does a lot for the sport. Associating ourselves with people like Rick is extremely important to the Grind.
When cold temperatures finally drove waterfowl out of Canada and the Dakotas this past season, central Kansas became a hotbed for ducks and geese. Hunting off the famed Cheyenne Bottoms in central Kansas, the Grind joined up with local guides Ben Webster and Adam Gilkey of High Caliber Outdoors for an incredible field hunt where Ricky Hart and Bill Wilroth were covered up with enormous flocks of widgeon and mallards.
The Grind Waterfowl TV has been hunting with High Caliber Outdoors ever since we first started, so we always come to central Kansas. We lean on them. They do an excellent job, Adam and Ben. I mean, countless hours in the truck, a lot of miles, a lot of fuel. They track the birds.
We come to central Kansas, hunt with Adam and Ben at High Caliber Outdoors. We think of this as a late season area, but this November hunt is incredible. We haven't had ducks in the Dakota, or in South Dakota where I live, for quite a while here, and we get down here to Kansas, and I don't know if they took I-29 down and missed us, but this place is loaded with birds.
I've never seen wads of widgeon. I've seen mallards, you know, in mobs like that, but it's absolutely amazing. And you talk with Adam and Ben, and that's something that, you know, early on they get a lot of, and You know, Bill being from South Dakota, yeah, they get to see 1 or 2 bunches. Yesterday it was bunch after bunch after bunch. The amount of widgeon was absolutely amazing, and I've never really had the chance to gun a lot of widgeon being in the Mississippi River Valley there. So it was a pretty intense hunt. It was fun, it was quick, and we had a great time.
The Grind Waterfowl TV showcased public land hunting opportunities this past season in south central South Dakota. Freelance hunters have long coveted the Dakotas for access. Bill Wilroth and Tim Noe spent time on the Missouri River's Lewis and Clark Reservoir. Because of the backwater marsh habitat, this reservoir is a major stopping point for many mallards and Canada geese traveling down the Central Flyway.
The area we've been hunting is it's the Missouri River. That's the last impoundment on the Missouri River, actually part of the Lewis and Clark project. All the marsh that was created was created because of the runoff and the sediment.
Get him, Tim, get him. Good shot.
We're fortunate enough to hunt down here in southern South Dakota. We've got a couple great hunting partners, Bill from Dakota and his hunting partner Pat know this area like the back of their hand. And the good thing about hunting too is if you're with people you enjoy, and that's the true benefit of duck hunting, is you get to share a blind with others.
We are the week before Thanksgiving. This typically is a perfect time to be here. Actually, when I bring guests in, I usually tell them from Thanksgiving on is a great time to hunt. This year right now with the warm weather and the ducks stalled out north of us, we're kind of in the dead zone. A lot of the local birds that were here are gone, and the fresh birds we're waiting on haven't arrived yet.
Get him, get him, get him.
Part of the entire waterfowl hunting experience is the friendships in the blind, and of course, the cooking. It doesn't matter if the camp chef is in the blind or on the deck, something will be getting cooked.
There we are, breakfast burrito. We'll see how that plays at the other end of the blind.
With some marinade from High Mountain Seasonings soaking the tenderized duck breasts and the camp chef grill heated up, the staff from the Grind enjoys the harvest. This season, the Grind Waterfowl TV brought on some new on-camera talent. A fine British lab named Max became the newest addition to the team. Bill Wilroth had the opportunity to travel to Mississippi to visit with Barton Ramsey of Southern Oak Kennels to learn more about British and Irish labs, and also join Barton in a flooded field for a mixed bag shoot for mallards and gadwall.
Barton, your specialty is British labs. What are the main differences between the British labs and American labs?
I think oftentimes the differences are overstated. There are English dogs that would be like a showbred dog, big stocky dog, short leg, not bred for field work at all. They're very different. That's not what we do. We do British field bred dogs. So our dogs are competing in field trials, competing in working tests, picking up game birds in the UK. So field trials in the UK are a little bit different than field trials in America. They require the dog to be very calm and steady, sometimes for 3 or 4 hours on the line. So for us, when we started looking at the way that they evaluate, there was a lot more obedience, a lot of manners, and then still all the drive, all the retrieve, a lot of using the nose, getting out. They want to see a dog get in an area, and they love to watch a dog just hunt up an area. And I thought, boy, that makes a lot of sense for the American waterfowler.
That's one thing we've really noticed about Max is his steadiness and his quietness. And we've had an instance where we'll drop 4, 5, 6 birds, and finally someone will say, aren't you going to send Max?
We like to say that we breed dogs that'll make your friends jealous and keep your wife happy. So dogs that they do well in the house, they're calm, good with kids. We've got dogs that come to the office with me, and I'll have people come into the office for a meeting, and when they leave, they catch a glimpse, and they'll say, I didn't even know a dog was in here. Same dog, to see that dog barrel through, you think, is that even the same dog? I think it's definitely possible to have that. There's no reason to have to sacrifice having a nice, calm companion to go out camping with the kids, fishing with the family. And then there's also no reason to sacrifice having a dog that just jam up, loves cold water, loves picking birds. You can definitely have both. And we've been able to find both with these British lines. We
get the chance to hunt a lot. I truly enjoy watching dogs work. I enjoy calling at ducks. I like to see how ducks respond to calls. I didn't shoot much today on this hunt. I was having more fun doing just a little bit of calling, just watching everything, running max, trying to keep eye on where ducks. We had ducks falling everywhere. As a handler, you need to know where the birds are going down so that you can get your dog to the ducks.
Staff member Ricky Hart loves to hunt Canada geese. Resident Canada geese were part of his grooming as a young hunter, and he still tries to get out in a goose field as much as possible. This past January, the Grind was able to film a late-season field hunt for geese in a cut cornfield in Illinois.
So I started actually waterfowl hunting. My dad started taking me in the blind when I was about 5 years old. Every opportunity we get, we go out. My dad had a buddy that had big Magnum shells. By the age of 12, when I was legally able, I took hunter safety, and if it wasn't for my dad, I don't know where I'd be at as far as hunting goes. It's all to him that I have to thank. You know, in doing this and looking at these products that we come out with, I have the ability to go out and test the product. So while I'm able to enjoy my passion, it's also my job, and I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, our setup that day, we had probably four to 6 dozen sleepers, maybe even more than that. I really love sleepers and when there's a snow on the ground. That's the only time that I use sleeper shells. But also, one thing that you may or may not see is we also had a goose flapper off the side of the spread, probably about 15 yards off the corner of the blind. And the reason why I like to use the goose flapper is that I actually leave it running while the birds are coming in, because it takes the attentions off the blinds. These layout blinds, the birds are starting to really profile them, get wise to them, especially later on in the year. That little bit of motion over there just helps, and it actually pushed them into the corner a little bit, so it gave us some great shooting opportunities.
The Canada goose story is more widespread than just Illinois. The Grind Waterfowl TV filmed some incredible goose hunting in several locales, including an epic January hunt in central Kansas with Bill Wilroth.
We decided we needed a honker hunt, and Adam knows I'm a mallard guy, so he always has that stuff lined up for me, but they went out scouting. They've got a great network down here. Adam works with other outfitters, and he called up Corey Cribb from Falling Feather Game Calls. Big Canada geese, they're a grazer, and down here you got these beautiful winter wheat fields. They love grass, they love green grass, and the boys found it for us. We set up, I think we had maybe a couple hundred fully flocked Dakotas out, and they got the job done. We hunted a field edge this morning, which was deadly, and we had a nice, really a beautiful crosswind, and the birds would get, basically they were coming from their roost. There was no swinging, no anything. They would just get out over the decoys and flutter down in. But we had a nice wind. We probably had a 15-mile-an-hour wind, which is pretty cool because they don't, with no wind, they like to give you maybe a pass or two, but when you got a high wind, they're going to get down quick, and they did today. It was incredible. Just like all hunting, your hide is very important, and you want to match your natural environment. We had a bunch of cedar trees around us today, so the guys cut some cedar bows, and we brushed up the blinds with them. We just looked like, really like a cedar hedge or a cedar row. It was awesome. So the thing I'm trying to say there is, look at your natural environment and get your blinds covered. If you're having trouble seeing the birds, they're having trouble seeing you. And Adam is very, very particular in that, to the point where I give him a hard time about it, but it works, and they get the job done.
We have geese coming so fast that we can't get the next batch in that we got before the next batch is coming. It's happening really fast here. Max is plumb wore out already, but it's unbelievable. These geese are finishing exactly how they set up for them to do. And most of them are big canners. We had one little bunch of lessers, but they are right in the pocket, and the boys can shoot. Rick 'em! So it's gonna be over before we know it.
Small rivers provide tremendous mallard hunting across North America, and these late-season hotspots are often overlooked by waterfowl hunters. Bill Wilroth showcased just how productive these locations can be this past January.
This part of Kansas is kind of right 3/4 of the way through the Central Flyway, and the pattern of ducks and migration, geese and migration anymore, they won't move unless they have to. They don't get a lot of snow in this area. We drove down and we had 8-10 inches of snow on the ground until we got about 60 miles north of this area. So the Central Flyway birds tend to, as they get pushed out of the fields and water north, end up down. They'll go as far as they have to find the water and open feed. And this particular area just loads up with birds. They will dip down into Oklahoma, but for some reason they'll come right back north, and it's just an incredible area to hunt.
So here, right here on the right up front, right up front. Good shot. Next.
This time of year also, because it is late January, all of the small water holes, ponds are froze up, but these little shallow, fast-running rivers stay open. And it's incredible how many birds roost on it during the day. The key to any waterfowl, particularly mallards, is find open water. And these little rivers are shallow, they're sandy, they're beautiful, beautiful rivers, and they definitely hold the birds.
The staff from the Grind Waterfowl TV was able to share the blind with so many guests, guides, and industry insiders, like the folks from Wild Ear, where new products are discussed and showcased each season. From hearing protection to product development, This Time in the Field and Marsh tests equipment and refines products each season.
The difference with our product and some of the others that you'd see in the field is obviously one, it's all custom fit. We won't deviate from that. There's a lot of value there, comfort-wise and just overall performance. Some of the small details would be just directionality, being actually able to recognize and detect where that sound's coming from in comparison to some of the other products. And then any sound above 90 decibels, it's going to actually suppress down to approximately 40. Difference there is if you're at like a gun range or shooting trap or skeet or sporting glades and there's constant shooting at other bays or stands, you can still talk and communicate with whether you're your buddy, your shooting partner, the range officer. It's just a safety thing.
Hearing protection is so important. I'm in my mid-50s. I joke with these guys all the time. I wish I had known Zach. Of course, Zach's too young, but I wish I would have met these guys when I was in my 20s or 30s. Do something for your hearing. Wild Ear is a perfect combination for us. We've been with Zach for 5 years now. I can honestly say they're probably saving the little bit of hearing I have left in my left ear. It's a great product. It not only enhances your hearing, it's incredible what you can hear. You can hear ducks and geese coming. It's eerie almost, how far away you can hear them. On top of the enhancement, the suppression is what's so important. Hearing enhancement is just kind of a bonus. Get with Zach at Wild Ear, get some ears designed. They're custom fit, they're comfortable, and it will definitely save your hearing.
Field hunting mallard opportunities are coveted by many duck hunters, and the Grind's Bill Wilroth is one such hunter who lives for field hunting. The Grind Waterfowl TV was able to share some wisdom and strategy for hunting mallards over dry ground.
When we first set up today, the ducks started moving a little earlier than we thought. And usually in the field, you can get on them pretty hard with the call. So we were all calling, everyone was highballing, we had feed chuckling going on, and they were acting a little bit goofy. So don't be afraid to change it up a little bit. We lightened up the calling a little bit, just a few highballs, a little bit of feed chuckling, and they seem to like it better. Adapt to your conditions that you're dealing with, because sometimes they want to hear that call all the way to the ground. Other times they want to just be greeted and then get off the call. So just read your ducks. Today we could see they wanted a little lighter calling, and it worked. Just adapt to the conditions you're hunting with. My old Suburban struggles down here, man. These guys put miles on. They reach out, they find birds. If there aren't birds in the area, they go find them. They're out scouting every day. I don't know how many miles their trucks have on them, but it has to be immense. But just another shout to Adam and Ben for finding birds. I mean, these guys find them. Ben is probably one of the best scouters I've ever seen. He's constantly finding birds.
This season of the Grind Waterfowl TV was an exciting and entertaining season with long days in the marsh and field, highway miles merged with early morning sunrises. Our story and passion is probably a lot like so many of yours. We live to watch skies filled with waterfowl, simply a labor of love. We strive to bring you important information, tips, and tactics that can help you become a better waterfowl hunter. From the staff at the Grind Waterfowl TV, we would like to thank you, the fans, for watching and following this past season as we prepare to film a new season of waterfowl hunting experiences across North America. Make sure to subscribe to the Grind Waterfowl TV YouTube channel and follow the Grind Waterfowl TV on Facebook for updates throughout the season.
Visit our website, www.thegrindwaterfowl.com, where you will find past episodes as well as tips and tactics from the boys here at The Grind. Follow The Grind on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.